We are back. It is episode 159 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob. With me, as always, is
Carcass John.
and
today my name is Scott Heart of Metal Waters.
I like it.
Heart
Man,
of
I gotta
Metal.
tell you, I sat down in front of the camera today and I look 500 years old. I don't know what is going on.
You usually look so. Your skin is like perfect all the time. I was asking your skin secrets, but then you said I look fuzzy, and I said, "Well, is that because I'm in low def or?"
No, I said you look sexy.
Oh,
that's what I said.
Sexy.
Yeah,
Sexy. That's why I said.
I
can
know
you
there's
make
at least
Carcass any
one
more
other
sexy?
person that will agree with you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right. So, as usual, I'm running so behind. Sorry, we were a couple minutes late getting on. We've already got a few comments. Thank you for hanging out with us. I will give you a couple of info pieces here. We're going to do the show today. We're going to do the show next week, our year-end wrap-up. That we may have another Duke 'em out. Carcass may be scoring another fight. And then we are going to take not one, but 2 weeks off, and we will join you back for 2023 with another killer episode of the Metal Roundtable. Now, go to anchormerchandising.com if you want to buy some Metal Roundtable bullshit. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can follow Scooter Waters by going to YouTube and finding Scott Waters. It's as simple as that. He's a badass, and you should go follow him. Let's see how many people we have now. Or is anybody interested other than me?
I was going to say
612.
612.
Hey, what you know? Yeah,
That's 600. That's 612 people more than zero.
That is 612 family members.
That is true. That is true.
So I don't really have any shout outs. I don't think.
I got a couple of minor shout outs, but
yeah, get after it, brother.
First of all, as you well know, that I traveled to Denver this past week in hopes of seeing that crushing Beer and Metal Fest in Denver. It did not happen for us. We drove all the way to Denver. Shout out to Ryan Venom Salazar, formerly of Owlwitch, now of Steelborn. He was kind enough to put us up for the night, in which I was told by Nurse Metal Queen that I was going to be placed back in the car and driven back to the Fort Worth area because I had pneumonia. And after a COVID test and some discussion, I am still feeling the effects. So I appreciate her driving me all the way back home. That was pretty awesome. And Ryan, we'll get back up there and we'll hang out one time where it's longer than 15 minutes at midnight. But anyway, but other than that, life still goes on, and I hear it was a good show. I did hear from Dave Sanchez from Havoc. Would have been nice to hang out with him too, but and the boys from Insipidus. But Denver's a happening town, man. There's a lot of heavy music going on up there. So I don't know. Be worth checking out. Maybe not in the middle of December with 100-mile-an-hour winds along the interstate, but you never know. Anyway, thanks to Steph and thanks to Ryan for keeping me upright. It was painful, but anyway, and go to our Anchor merch thing. A lot of cool stuff for little trinkets for the holidays, and when you run out of ideas for the person that has it all, an unreadable logo Metal Roundtable shirt would surely be nice, now wouldn't it?
Damn right.
There you go.
Yeah, we've got, man, there's shirts with several of the logos. Here, I'll show you the logos if you look up in the corner. Hang on. We got shirts with this logo. I'm pretty sure we've got shirts. Well, yeah, that's the one we all have.
Mm-hmm.
Is this logo. And I'm pretty sure I haven't bought one of these yet. I love that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've got buttons and stickers and shirts and towels, or I mean, there's just everything. So go get whatever you want. Koozies,
Locks of
and
our
stuff.
hair.
Well, I don't have any hair,
Ah.
so
We got beard hair, so
yeah,
or pubic
get a
hair.
lock
You
of
know.
my beard hair,
Ah.
which I would sell you. I'll sell you if you want a lock of my beard hair. There is a price, and it's not nearly as much as you think it would be. Man, this is looking rough today too. Well, shall we get into? Oh, first of all, I've been remiss in doing this. We'll be really quick. Frazier, what's up, dude? TJ, always good to see you. Damian Hair Metal, yo, indeed. We were 4 minutes late. Suck on that. Metal Roundtable bullshit. Go get you some. What's up, Tony? We were running late as well, so you were right on time. David Beck and I messaged a little bit this week.
And the mighty Glenn Rogers is here.
The mighty Glenn Rogers is here. I think I talked to Glenn on the phone in the last week, too.
Really now?
I believe I did. A buck for... Oh. A buck. PayPal me, Frazier. We'll work something out.
Yeah. You're going to get the special price, Frazier.
Donnell Blair. Oh, wow. Awesome, dude. Yeah, Donnell, that Dio thing is badass. Sorry, I'm distracted. Scott, who's your shout-outs, brother?
Well, first of all, Hakan from Sweden, who sent me this awesome package of Swedish heavy metal vinyl and CDs, which I was talking to Carcass about earlier, but I can't show it all because I don't have time. But he did manage to hook me up with a copy of Jerusalem's Krigsmith, which is all sung in Swedish, which is really cool. This is my favorite Jerusalem album, so glad to have that version of it. And also to Rocks Records, Bill Baffert hooked me up with all the record store day stuff that I couldn't get here, which was really only two things that I really wanted, which was, of course, the Ted Nugent reissue. Finally, Spirit of the Wild on vinyl. So that's cool. And then I wanted to show you guys a couple things that I picked up in the last few weeks, but we do our Japanese pressing things. So I picked up a couple Japanese pressings. This one is just interesting because it's got to be the biggest Obi strip I've ever seen in my life.
Many Christmas.
It takes up half the front cover. But anyhow, this is Susie Quattro. And yeah, I haven't even heard it yet. Just came in. This one just came in today. This one I've had for a few weeks now, but this is the smallest Obi strip I've seen in my life, and it's one on the top instead of on the bottom on the side. So draw the line, because you have to have at least two Japanese copies of Aerosmith Draw the Line.
And you've only got two?
Or the new Carcass album.
Only two Japanese copies, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's not counting the other, 6 or 7 pressings I have that are other different, countries and whatnot.
Yeah,
we had some stuff come out that you and I worked on. We had
right here,
Galactic Cowboys, King's X, Ty Tabor, Brainstorm. Yeah, a bunch of stuff we worked on.
This album is fantastic, man. Such a good album.
Green
Have
vinyl.
You listened to it yet?
Are there any copies of that left?
Yes, there are a few copies.
Okay, I will be ordering one. As soon as my funds clear.
Yeah, that was fun.
The Galactic Cowboys.
Yep.
There's talk of more Galactic Cowboys possibly coming out next year, which is exciting.
Hey, I must make mention of the Nevermore reissues. Man, those things really they sounded good before, but they really sound good. I mean, I love that band anyway because they have a crushing melody about them. But man, whatever knobs you twisted there, Mr. Roberto, it really it made a difference. And wow, it was a real pleasure to listen to those, by the way. So
thanks. I enjoyed it. There was one in particular, I can't remember the name of it. Scott.
Dreaming Neon Black.
Yeah, that people were wanting an improvement on, and so I'm just gracious to have the work. I'm just gracious to be busy. So, but I was really proud that people were pleased with the way that came out. The engineers and the original, the band and the original recording and people, they did the heavy lifting. I just added butter and syrup. That's the way I've
Yeah,
always
well,
explained it.
you buttered them and syruped them just right. Because man,
I'm happy with them.
I was testing out a new system that I put together in the house, and I thought, well, let me just try this out, and wow, it made the system sound better than it normally would. But anyway, props to you.
Hey, Glenn, yes, I did. Thank you very much. Did some recent work for Primal and Glenn Rogers, which was awesome. So, what you boys want to get into it? I'll just fire off several, and then we'll just go around to what is that?
This
is a test pressing of something.
This is a test pressing that came in the mail yesterday for Jeff Loomis of Nevermore fame, the Zero Order phase.
Ooh.
Should I be looking forward to getting one of those soon?
I will pull one out of the box for you.
Woo!
Yep.
All right, let's so we're going to talk about our favorite 2022 releases. We've just got a stack of stuff. Mine are in some sort of order. These boys just have a pile of stuff, and we'll blow through these as fast as we can. Carcass has a 14-page list, so that'll be fun. What's up, Mark? Chaos Massacre. Good to see you as always.
Hey, I see Phil Collins in the background over there.
I do see Phil Collins.
That is an ode. That is an ode to my little friend. I learned. You learn when you're trapped in a car for 12 hours, one way and 12 hours back. You learn.
It's a bad word.
Well, I mean, it's not okay. Trapped is a bad word. She could have pushed me. She could have pushed me out anytime she wanted to.
When you're privileged to spend that much time with the Metal Queen,
yes.
You do not use the word trapped.
Yes, when I was privileged enough to spend that time, you learn something about people, and that head-banging, mosh-pitting queen actually loves her some Phil Collins. So,
me too.
I found a really killer copy, and we will be spinning that and enjoying the fireplace with little Phil Collins.
That's a great album to enjoy the fireplace with someone you love. I do it all the time.
Yep. There you go.
Fraser, I can't hold a candle to anything that Andy Sneap does.
But Andy Sneap doesn't do mastering as much as he does mixing and recording.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I've got. Now I'll leave Carcass's unreadable logo up there. Tribute to Carcass. All right, well, let's get into it. We're going to talk about our 2020. Mine are pretty much in order of favorite to least favorite, although there's not a stinker in the pile, so I guess maybe I shouldn't really be ranking them. But I'm kind of going from bottom to top here. So I'll throw out 3 or 4, and then we'll just go around the horn.
Sounds good to me because I got a ton of them here.
Okay.
And they're not in order.
I did leave some up there that didn't make the list, but this one did. If you like some of the newer Aussie stuff, you'll like this. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool that Tony Iommi plays on it. Zach Wilde plays on it. He's got a Jeff Beck on here, Eric Clapton. So I think it's pretty cool. I'll tell you the truth, I haven't revisited it a whole lot, but it is a good record. So worth picking up. Wolf put out a new album this year. I freaking love Wolf. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I spun this once and I forgot that I had it. So I just found this on the stack. I remember it being pretty good. I just don't remember that much about it. That's why it's so low in my list. It's fantastic, but I just haven't revisited it and I'm not as familiar with it. But Wolf can pretty much do no wrong. Shadowland 2022, fantastic. I just finally got this and listened to it, and then I'll do one more after this. Venom Inc., There Is Only Black. I prefer Ave just slightly, but if Ave is a 9 metal record, this is an 8 metal record. So very, very good. Yeah, Venom Inc., I dig it. I finally just got it and spun it the other day. I'll do one more real quick, and then we'll let you boys get on. The new Queensryche is great. Digital Noise Alliance. I like it better than the last couple that they've done. The last couple that they've done are good. I just like this one a little better for my taste. And Todd LaTorre is a badass, and I would love to meet and talk to him someday, hopefully. It has a bonus track of Billy Idol's Rebel Yell, which is awesome. So check that out, Queensryche. All right, there's my first 4. Carcass.
Okay. I'll throw out 4. Speaking of Denver, since we just got back from there, this would be Astral Tomb from Denver. This is an album called Soul Gazer, just came out this year. It's almost like a Blood Incantation, but a little more ambient, a little more melodic. Speaking of Blood Incantation, that Time Wave Zero, and I don't have a copy of it in front of me, but it's an all ambient. Both sides are all ambient, kind of 0 beat. I dig it. A lot of people are freaked out by it because there's no gurgling and gargling and brutal heavy things like Hidden Species and Star Spawn and some of the others, but I really love it. I like the fact that they are not afraid to venture out, and of course they include some of those elements in their music anyway. So I don't know. So keeping on the heavier side, Brain Famine, Die in the Vortex, grind band from out east. I really dig them. They're very simple, raw. And then probably the best thrash album of the year. This is Amorphia, Lethal Dose. And I got this on the same day that I got the new Razor. And I really wanted to love the Razor, but this thing smokes the Razor 9 ways from Sunday, I'm sorry to say. So Amorphia, and they're from Bombay, India. They look like they look different than you would expect.
Hey, not to give anything away, but did I happen to see the new Razor today?
Yes, you did.
Okay, that's all. Enough said.
Yep. But anyway, this thing absolutely rips. If you're not circle pitting in your living room when you listen to this, then you're in a catatonic state. Okay.
Cool. Scooter.
All right, I'll go through some of the CDs I got sitting right here. George Call, Cloven Hoof.
Oh, I missed that. Yep, I've got that.
Fantastic. I don't know. I just call it straightforward heavy metal. I'm sure somebody would call it power metal or something like that. But I mean, it doesn't sound like the early new wave of British heavy metal, Cloven Hoof stuff. But it is 40 years, 50 years later, or whatever it is. So I don't expect them to. But this is just straightforward, great heavy metal. And George Call is just such a great vocalist, and I pretty much like everything he's done. Unfortunately, he's no longer with Cloven Hoof, from what I understand. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that is a bummer, and it just boiled down to travel plans, and those guys wanted to play shows, and it just wasn't in the cards for George to travel, I guess. But anyway.
Yeah. So he did 2 albums with them, though, and both are really good. This was kind of a surprise. I wasn't expecting a return of this band. So this is a fantastic, really brutal thrash metal album from Testimony of Apocalypse, which is basically some of the guys from Sacrament who have reformed under that name as opposed to Sacrament. Original vocalist and drummer are the only 2 guys from Sacrament, which is why they changed their name. But if you like that first album with that, kind of almost crossing over into death metal, but pretty much staying on the thrash fence, that's what you got going on here. A little heavier, a little more brutal than anything they did before, especially the vocals. And it may just be more than the production and then the recording quality. I mean, a big difference between 2022 and 1990 or whatever it was when their album came out. So another classic band and nice return to form for Toxic. Speed metal, I'd call it. Thrash metal, call it what you want. Clean vocals, just really good, solid album. Do I like it better than their first 2 albums? It's hard to say. Nostalgia is kind of hard to overcome, but I did listen to this quite a bit this year. So, regardless, man, there's a lot of thrash in this pile. New Violence EP.
Oh, man.
That's in my stack, too.
This thing is really, really good. So, I mean, it's only an EP, but it's like 5 or 6 songs,
5 songs,
3, 4, 5 size songs. It's the thing is, the thing I like about EP sometimes is you listen to the whole thing, you're not bored with it, and you tend to want to listen to it again. So you really get familiar with the songs more so than an album, a full length album. But regardless, great stuff from them. I'll show you 2 more, and then we'll move on to somebody else. Riot Act.
Oh, that's okay. So I had a note written from several episodes ago where you told me to get that. So I went to look and I couldn't remember which one it was. I just wrote Riot Act CD. So, but is that re-recordings?
There's 2 discs on this thing. So disc 2 is re-recordings of classic Riot tracks. Disc 1 is the new album.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah, so it's called Closer to the Flame. They only have 2 albums out, this one and then an EP that came before it. The EP is nearly impossible to find, but it was all re-recordings. This new album, so I'm including this more for the new album than the old tracks. I think they did a great job with the old tracks too. I mean, this Riot actually is closer to the original Riot than the one that's out there, as Riot V, because there's literally no original members in that band. Whereas here you got Rick Ventura doing the writing and guitar playing, and the dude's a legend, and got to meet him over a few weeks ago, and he was really good, really cool.
Well,
one more.
It's on the way. I just ordered it.
What do y'all think of this one? Megadeth, The Sick, The Dying, and Dead.
I love it.
I enjoyed it. I've played it quite a few times, so it's going to make my list for the year because I just enjoyed it that much.
That's coming up in my stack too.
Dare I say it's better than the new Metallica track, but whatever.
I'll just get this one out of the way too, real quick. I like it because I really enjoyed Dystopia a lot. I thought Dystopia was fantastic. And I think this is even a step better than Dystopia. So
I agree. I think it's better Dystopia.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. I don't think it's head and shoulders better, but I think it's the next logical step, and I think it's great. I love this record.
I agree.
Hey, there's a comment up there from TJ Lewis.
Hang on.
About local Texas heavy hitters, Tribal Gaze from Longview of all places. And anybody that lives in Texas and knows what Longview is all about should be shocked that a band of this quality and this ilk would come from there. But
I have a Texas heavy hitter band that I can show you guys.
All right, show us.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so this is a good tie-in, Scott, because here's the deal. I saw Forebode play at this place, and Tribal Gaze was on the bill, Combat, Caustic, all these heavy bands. And he said, Carcass, go to their merch go to the Tribal Gaze merch table and buy everything that they have. You won't be disappointed. This is before I even heard them play. So I bought the vinyl, the CD, I bought t-shirts, I bought stickers. And dude, I'm telling you, Tribal Gaze, keep your eye peeled for them. That is good, old-fashioned, grinding death metal of the early 90s ilk, and they will blow your brains out. They are really, 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 really good. So
awesome.
Shout out to TJ on that one. That's a good call. And they're on my list, so I might as well get Violence and Tribal Gaze off the list, so I can talk about other things.
I had Forebode on my list. I didn't pick up the CD. I forgot to grab the vinyl, but I couldn't remember if it came out in 21 or 22, but it counts to me as a 22 release, and I was going to sneak it in because the vinyl came out.
That's correct.
Vinyl definitely came out in 2022. It wasn't 20. It sure wasn't 2020. I don't know. I just know it made my list for that year, my top 5, as I recall.
Yeah. Forebode's badass.
And they debuted most of those songs right here in the living room.
They sure as hell did.
It was awesome.
And we've got a somewhat technical glitchy episode of that as well. If you want to dig back in, to pass.
All right.
Keep going.
Sorry to jump in the line.
I'm digging right now for something. So
no, you're good. Keep going.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, okay. Let me get some comments up here. Yes, Mark. More on that later. Y'all tell me that sucked. I don't know what he's talking. What do you mean, Frazier? Gonna grab that Riot Act. I bet you will not be disappointed. The new Megadeth is awesome. All right, so next up, of course, there was no way I was going to disappoint Spicoli or our 2-time guest on the show, Nigel Glockler. This is a killer Saxon record. I'm very proud to have it. I thought it was an awesome record. I especially love the opening track, Carpe Diem. So, yeah, Saxon definitely made my list, and not just because Nigel was on the show. Let me do 2 or 3 more here. I am a Clutch fan, especially later Clutch. Carcass doesn't like Clutch. This is good. It is still sealed. I've listened to it on Spotify. I can't tell you a ton about this, but it definitely, I know it's going to make my list. I've heard it. I was happy with it, but I don't recall it because I only listened to it once at work. So anyway, love me some Clutch. I'll do a couple more real quick. This one's going to divide the room, and I don't care. Ghost kicks ass. I love Ghost. I love everything about Ghost. I love the hooks. I love the melodies. I love the big recording. I love the big stage show and the theatrics. I think, I can't remember the dude's name, the singer, Tobias. I think he gets the joke. I don't think he takes himself too seriously, but I think he's a master songwriter. If in fact he's writing the songs, I assume he is. I freaking love Ghost, and this is a great Ghost record. And I'll do one more real quick for this round. Also, 2 or 3 times on the show, I've got volume 1 in front of me, and I'm pretty sure, yeah. Dude, Tanner is a badass. I freaking love this guy. I've gotten to do a bunch of work for him this year because he is on now volume, well, maybe I shouldn't let the cat out of the bag. But anyway, there's at least a couple of volumes of this live series. He calls it Lost Lives. This is volume 1. Cool artwork, old school thrash artwork, old school thrash sound, brutal vocals. Tanner is awesome. And what this is a collection. What he did was he went back and started getting old shows that they recorded, and he's releasing them as kind of an underground live series. And I think that's a killer idea. So I've gotten to master all these, but forget the fact that I messed with it. It's just cool shit to have. If they fuck up, you hear it. You know, if they're out of tune, you hear it. They miss something, you hear it. And I absolutely love stuff like that. Plus the recordings are good. So support Tanner and Madrost. I freaking love this live series that he's doing. Harmless Rebel, the sound quality on this is great, man. It really is. It really is great. And I'm sure that Tanner's got something on the Madrost, Madrost. I'm sure on their Facebook page, he's got some promotion with some of the live tracks. It's really good sounding. It's not some shitty boombox thing.
Well, I would be all in on something because I saw them at the Rail Club, and that's how I discovered Madrost years and years ago. And I'd pay whatever amount of money for that show. That would be great.
Oh, dude. TJ, you're damn right. It counts. And we sold a shirt. Woo!
Woo!
Wow, I think that's
what
what's
to do to celebrate. I don't have anything funny.
that's got to be 4 now, right?
Four,
yeah,
four,
that
6.
probably makes 4.
Hey, I bought 2.
Oh, it's just 5
for myself. Yeah. So yeah, Tony, you're the man. Thank you, brother.
Steve, the sound quality is really good on that live show. Very good. Harmless Rebel is Steve.
Oh yeah. Duh.
Hey, okay, so I'm going right down in alpha order. So let me just get these out of the way. With a name like Burt Bacharach, it piqued my curiosity. They're a grindcore band, shockingly, and they're really, really brutal. Thermonuclear Needle EP is great. Deathhammer from Norway, it's a 2-piece, a drummer and a guitarist. Electric Warfare, they do not fail. They are, like Scott would call it, speed metal, thrash, whatever. Call it what you want. They absolutely shred. Hey, even when they're self-produced, Desiccation, our boys from San Diego, shout out to their mom for driving them here to Crazy Fort Worth to play that death metal show. Electric Orange, kind of steering away from the heavy stuff. They are a psychedelic German band. They released an album called Space Junk. And then here's a real curiosity.
Wait. You said the album released an album called Space Junk?
Space
That's
Junk.
funny. That's funny.
Does anybody know what this is?
That's funny,
No.
huh?
You don't know what this is?
couple of nurses.
It's got a very, very famous guitarist.
Your mom.
My mother is a famous pianist. No,
I've got
Alex.
so many
This is the
jokes
Alex
right now.
Lifeson. This is the Alex Lifeson project.
Oh,
It's called Envy of None. I bought the maxed out limited 2 CD Blu-ray, blue vinyl. But this has got Andy Curran, Alex Lifeson, Maya Wynn, and it's not a Rush album. It's not a Rush album, but this thing is killer, and I would highly recommend it. Envy of None. This is going to be on my top, maybe my top 10 of the year. And let me just end with one more.
Yeah.
These guys, Matt Harvey never disappoints. Exhumed, To the Dead. This thing absolutely destroys. They're going to be here in town on Friday. I hope I can scratch enough dinero together to go because I would hate to miss them. But Exhumed never fails. They are a killer death thrash band, and I love them.
They're here on Friday. Who are they playing with?
Vitriol, Castrate, and somebody else.
Where is it?
Amplified. So, anyway, I mean, I got more. You want me to keep going?
Might take in a death metal I don't know.
Dude, Exhumed rules.
Yeah, throw a couple more out there, dude.
Okay. How about, see, I had tapes, and this is a band from Austin. I bet TJ knows who they are. Haunter. This is Haunter. This thing is a crusher. Ambience, heaviness, sludge. It's everything you want in a ambient doom death metal record.
That
Haunter
is a crusher.
It is a crusher. Haunter from Austin, Texas. There's something in the water down there too.
There's all that sludge get all over your pinch rollers though.
Yeah, you get. All right. I'm gonna get on your pinch roller. Okay, this is one of my favorite unreadable logos. Go ahead, Rob.
Where's it at?
Give it a crack.
Yeah, where is it?
Right here.
God, I have no idea.
It's way too small. I can't see it.
I love it.
I can't.
Even if I blow it up, I can't tell.
This is a band called Hissing, and it's called Hyperventricular Architecture. Another, like a Haunter, it's crushing, it's ambient, it's sludgy, it's heavy. It will destroy your brain. I love it, love it, love it. So, Scott, what you got?
I got a pile here. I just keep pulling more into it. This one wasn't recorded this year, but it was released, and I played the thing more times than I can remember. But this is the Aerosmith from the Road Starts Here from early '80s live recording. It's just spectacular. Have you heard this?
Yes. I have not heard it.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's awesome. I was expecting it to be terrible considering it was basically unreleased live tracks, but man, they sound really good.
I think it might actually sound better than their first album.
It might, because it's got a little more
bite to
it. Yeah. All right, and then I'll get into it. So I've got, how about Evil Invaders? This is their newest album, 2022. Really, really good. Shattering Reflection, just straightforward thrash metal, pretty brutal, but it doesn't cross into like death metal. If anything, it hits more along the lines of straightforward metal with thrash and leanings and that kind of thing. Played it a lot. It's really good. New Destruction. Any thoughts?
I think it's good.
I thought it was really good. I mean, some of the lyrics irritate me, but other than that, I think the music is fantastic. And I don't know, first the back cover artwork's cool. With all the songs as patches on the back of the vest. I thought that was a cool idea. But anyhow, just a great album from them. But there just seems to be a lot of great thrash releases this year.
How about, I stand corrected. Haunters from San Antonio. Thanks for that.
How about Creator? A lot of people are not liking this album. I don't get it. I think it's fantastic. People are saying it's too close to power metal. Like, I don't know, man. It sounds like thrash to me. So maybe they're
Power
maybe they're.
metal. It's Creator for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever. Everybody's got to. People aren't happy unless they're complaining. How about let's see what else I got in here. New Voivod.
I dig it.
Synchro and can't talk apparently. Anarchy.
Mhm.
That was hard to get out.
I actually really like that record.
I do too. It's really good prog rock. And now, if you're expecting thrash, like the early stuff,
No, it's not trashy. It's not like Dimension Head or one of those. No, or Angel Rat.
It's prog rock or prog metal or whatever you want to call it. And speaking of prog, how about the new AZ, brand new band featuring Ray Alder on vocals from Fates Warning and Mark Zonder from. He also played in Fates Warning, but more well known for his time in Warlord. Just really solid progressive metal rock, whatever you want to call it. Similar, not too far off from what you want to expect from Fates Warning. It doesn't have the doomy sound of Warlord, but it's good nonetheless.
Hey, did you see this comment, Scott? I just want to make sure y'all don't miss any comments. That's all.
Look, Osric Tentacles. There, I did it.
You did. All right, is it me?
Let me show you one more. I got a pile of them here, but I can show you more in the next one. But this is one that I learned about on this show. Speaking of prog.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Damn, yep. Okay, that was in my top 5. So I'll go ahead.
Well, you can still throw in your top 5. It's a good album.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting. It's fairly. It's not heavy, but it's hard rock, and it's very progressive. I don't know. I almost call it prog light because it's not like when I think of prog, I tend to think of stuff like Osric Tentacles or Yes or Genesis or Nectar, and it's not quite that experimental, but it's really well done. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. So
yeah.
Saga wouldn't be too far off some of the progressive albums by Saga.
Yep.
So anyhow, great album from them. There you go. Yep. Go ahead. You can move forward.
That's a great one. I'll go ahead and take it off my pile. I had that at in my top 5. But I'm going to sneak one in here on you guys that I'll bet got past you, and then I'm going to save my top 3 for my last go round. So I'll go ahead and do 3 more.
Okay, go ahead.
I bet this one snuck up on everybody, didn't it?
Ripper. Huh? I haven't even heard that one yet.
Dude, you can get this for like $15 on Tim's site. It's an EP. It's got 6 songs. Carcass, I would like to read you the personnel list.
Okay.
Vocals, Tim Ripper Owens. Guitars, Charlie Belmore.
Oh, hey.
Drums, Nick Belmore. And on bass, Christopher Taylor Bodette. So this kind of snuck up on me. I didn't know this was coming out, so I immediately bought it. Tim sent it out. I'm pretty sure he is very involved in all his stuff. But anyway, it's autographed, which is cool. And I think there were a couple of goodies in the package. I can't remember. But, dude, this is exactly what you think a Tim Owens, Belmore Brothers collaboration would sound like. It is heavy. It is good. The production is top-notch. So go to Tim's site. I'm calling him Tim like we're buddies. Oh no. Damn it, Scott. Go to Tim's site and grab this. You will not be disappointed. It is so good, traditional metal. Scott, I can take you out of the show. You know that, right? Watch. He's gonna take me out now. I'm gonna show I'll show a couple more real quick. Okay. We just talked about this as we were coming on the show, and then I'll catch up with the comments here in a minute. This is a reissue. Just came out. Creatures of the Night. I always love that Kiss album. The remaster is stellar. It's great. The drums will literally scare the shit out of you when you put this on. if you've got the volume turned up at all. The drums are just pummeling. But the cool thing is it's got a second disc of demos, rarities, outtakes, live stuff. You get some songs that don't even sound close to what ended up on the record. You get I'm a Legend Tonight, which ended up on Killers. You get some different takes of songs. You get some stuff that would become other songs. Like I think one of these songs ideas ended up being on Asylum or something. And then you get a whole bunch of live stuff. There's like 6 or 7 live tracks. And the thing I like about the live tracks is they come out on Creatures of the Night and they're horribly out of tune. And I just love that. I think that's funny. But the live stuff is all good. It's all pro sounding. And the demos are all just top notch. So this is worth it for the price of admission alone, the second disc. I got one more and then I'll save my top 3. Finally, in 2022, the Alice Cooper Live from the AstroTurf came out on CD and Blu-ray 2-disc set. That's what I'm holding here. It also came out on vinyl with a DVD. So there's a million versions of the vinyl. So now I have everything: the cassette, the vinyl, the CD, the Blu-ray, the DVD, all that stuff. But I have been after the CD. That's what I've been looking forward to. And it even includes the Encore, which was not on the early stuff, and a sound check. So check that out. The Blu-ray is awesome. It has the full feature documentary on there. This is top notch, top notch from a historical show that I was at. Car crash.
Okay, well, some of these guys are stealing my fire here because, okay, TJ, this is on my list too. This is the Worm Blue Nothing EP that just came out. Absolutely sensational. Frazier had mentioned something about Malignant Altar. Those guys are from H-Town, members of Insect Warfare and War Master, Cryptic Void. These guys are sensational, and he's telling me that they let's see, did you hear about them? It went bye-bye. I hope that they're not done because, man, these guys are brutal, and I love them. Maybe my top death metal record of the year, Mortuous. These guys are nothing but heavy. Upon Desolation. Let's see, Municipal Waste. Anybody heard of them?
No.
There's no slouching with these dudes. This thing absolutely shreds. It may be the best thing that they've put out, maybe ever. And I'll go and I'll battle you in the parking lot with that.
What's up, Joe Pope from Lake
They're
Charles?
freaking awesome. And let's see. Let me just read a couple of others, and then I'll save mine for. I'll do my top 3 too. But Napalm Death released a follow-up to their previous record, in the throes of throes. Paul Riedel from Blood Incantation released 2 mixtapes. Parallax Occlusion from Canada released a single that they got a new album coming out at the beginning of the year. We mentioned Razor. Terror from LA, the best hardcore album of the year, bar none. It's called Pain into Power. If you love hardcore, if you love that heavy breakdown thing, Terror, Pain into Power, it's freaking phenomenal. Undeath from Buffalo, New York, It's Time to Rise from the Grave. We already talked about Violence. And then how about these guys? These guys sneaked up on me too. This is the Mighty Wofat from here in Dallas. Kent Stump, Michael Walter, and forgive me for forgetting the bass player's name, but these guys own a recording studio. And let me tell you what, you can tell because this thing sounds incredible. It's called The Singularity. Check it out. It's great heavy music, blues based, and very moody and very, very awesome. So
you're blues based.
I'm blues based. So what you got, Scott? And then we'll do our top 3.
That's what I'm
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
How about Misfire? Great thrash metal band.
Yeah.
Symphony of the for the Ignorant. This is a band I saw opening for other bands, and it was just blown away by their just straightforward thrash metal from Chicago. Really, really good album. I wish I would have had more money. I would have bought more copies, so I just could have given away to other people who like them, who might like them. So, how about the new Siren?
Yep.
Really good. Really enjoyed it. I got to confess, though, I haven't listened to it a lot yet because I just barely received this a couple weeks ago.
What's the name of it?
A Mercenary's Fate.
Okay, I don't have that one. I bought the other stuff that they did after the documentary came out, but I don't have that yet. All right, I'm going to go look.
I did pull the Razor.
The show's costing me money.
I like it. I don't know that I think it's the best Razor album. It's kind of has a crossover feel to it at times. It's good. I don't know. I like it. I've seen a lot of people. Go ahead.
I really wanted to like it better.
That's kind of where I'm at. I like it, but I was expecting to. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I psyched myself up for it too much. I don't know. But anyhow,
what's that Siren called, Scott? I'm sorry.
No problem. It's called A Mercenary's Fate.
A Mercenary's Fate. Okay.
And somebody, where is it at? Let me go back here a little bit here. Jeff Batcher, what is that 6x? It's 6x6. That's the name of the band. And it features a bunch of guys you probably heard of, but it's got Robert Barry from Emerson, Barry and Palmer, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's got Nick Glocker from Saxon, and it's got Ian Christian. I can't pronounce his last name, from Saga. I really, really like this album, and I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but I think it's a great album from these guys. Is it better than Uli Roth era? Heck no, but it's a good, straightforward, heavy metal, hard rock album from the Scorpions. And you guys picked this up?
I have it. I'm sure I gave it a spin and have not returned to it yet.
I've played it quite a bit. Matter of fact, I even recently picked up the Rock Believer 7-inch single that came out. Hear about some hard rock stuff that some of you may or may not care about, but I love this kind of stuff. So, brand new hard rocking album from Pat Travers. Gets away from the blues he's been doing over the last few years and just goes straight for that classic Pat Travers band stuff that he used to do in the 70s and early 80s. The Art of Time Travel. Really well done album. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm a bit of a Pat Travers fanatic, as I am with this guy. New Ted Nugent, Detroit Muscle. This album, it's hard for me not to put Nugent in my top 10 just because I'm such a big fan and I've met him several times. But it's a good album. But is it going to top his 70s stuff? Nope. But it's better than the last album he put out for last year, the year before last. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, there's some good tracks on here. I really enjoyed it. Straightforward, hard rock, Ted Nugent style, guitar-based hard rock. How about this one, Rob? King's X.
I have not heard it.
Three Sides of One.
Haven't heard it. No idea.
I was surprised when I first put it on the first time. I was expecting something a little different, I guess. I was expecting something, I don't know what I was expecting. Dogman Part 2. But it's just not that. It's much more it's a lot more like the first few albums where there's there's heavy parts, there's lighter parts. They kind of weave this tapestry of mellow and heavy and all the different vocal styles and the background vocals. I don't know, it took me a few listens, but now I really, really think it's a great album from them. Again, I don't know that it would top my favorites from them, but it is a very good album from King's X.
I don't even have it yet. Yep.
Eric Wagner. Enough said. Big bummer. New Amorphous.
Didn't even know they had one.
Yeah.
Very progressive. Mixture of death vocals, clean vocals. I wouldn't call it death metal by any stretch of the imagination. It's prog metal, but they have their own sound. I can't really. I've had several people ask, "What does it sound like?" I don't know. It sounds like Amorphous. Listen to it yourself. I don't know. Here's one you guys may or may not like.
Like
The Darkness.
Wait. There's a new Darkness album.
not
The Darkness.
Darkness from Germany. The
I
Darkness.
understand. What's it
The
called?
Darkness from the UK, and yes, it's called Motor Heart, and it is very much what you would expect from these guys.
right
that
now.
Very poppy mixture of rock and metal. Yeah, I mean, I like this band a lot. They're ridiculous, but that's what I like about him. So his vocals are so over the top. Kind of reminds me of Nitro, Michelangelo and Nitro.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
But I love Nitro too. So there you go. All right, let me see. I'll show you one more.
Agreed,
This is
Mark Fields. Agreed.
Oh,
This is
boy.
the new Saint, Heaven Fell. Again, straightforward heavy metal, very much in the new wave of traditional heavy metal sound, as opposed to their classic Judas Priest sound that they were doing back in the 80s. They have a new vocalist, which makes a big difference because they don't have what's his name? What's the singer's name? Rob, the original singer. Slipping my mind. Anyhow, he was ridiculous because he's a friend of mine. But anyhow, he doesn't sound like Rob Halford. This singer does. He's a bit more gruff and has but it's great voice, perfect for the straightforward metal that these guys do. So really good album from Saint, Heaven Fell. And the last three are not necessarily my top three, but I'll save them for the last three.
Hey Scott, if Aerosmith, Pat Travers, and Ted Nugent were all playing a gig on the same night, who would you go see?
I'd go see Pat Travers.
There you go,
because
Fraser.
I've seen Aerosmith 15 times. I've seen Ted Nugent more times than I can remember. And I've met him 3 times. I've only ever got to see Pat Travers once, and it was way back in 1983 on the Black Pearl tour opening up for Aerosmith.
Is it Josh something?
Plus, I always wanted to meet Pat Travers and have never had that opportunity. So I would stick around the venue in hopes of meeting him. How's that for an answer?
There you go. Hey, by the way, Mark, that Aurora Borealis you referenced, the prophecy in the mold in which history is poured, I've heard it. It's fantastic. You're right. Oh, is it up? Am I going to give my top 3 now? Or no, it's your turn.
Kramer.
Josh Kramer.
There you go. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
Yeah, I had Josh, but I couldn't come up with the last name. Okay, I'll do my top 3 and then I'll get out of y'all's way. What's that King's X called? 3 sides? 3 sides of 1. Okay, I've got it. Okay, let me focus on what I'm doing. No, this darkness is just fine. That's the singer of Siege, by the way, chiming in and shaming me publicly.
But as he should.
Thank you for sending me those shirts, though. I appreciate that.
He's right about that German darkness.
Dan has mentioned. Let's see. The last time I ever saw Power Trip was Pat Travers and Accept. Wow.
In Houston. That was at that beer joint down there.
Okay. Speaking of driving Mark Fields crazy, he is going to hate this because here are my top 3 favorite picks of 2022. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm saying they're my favorite. I love, and this is dated 2023, but I've had it for weeks. So to me, it got here in 2022. I love Bloody Hammers. I love everything about it. Anders and Davalia. Man, this is just cool. It's kind of what, I don't know, maybe it's I don't know, kind of Misfits, horror rock. They did a punk album during the pandemic, which I thought was fantastic. But I love Bloody Hammers. I got onto them when they were putting out their first stuff. And I just dig the way that they write. I dig the way they sound. I like the cool, scary horror rock vibe. And so I love Bloody Hammers. This is my number 3. I've played the shit out of this. Now, to further further beat everybody down with hair metal. That wasn't hair metal, but I love me some hair metal. This record is badass. It is outstanding. The new Skid Row is fantastic. As Carcass laughs at me, but I freaking love this. Eric Gronwall is awesome. He has rekindled this band much like Todd LaTorre did for Queensryche. Arnel Pineda did for Journey. Eric is awesome. I will go see Skid Row as soon as they come to Dallas. I am all in. I love this band, and this sounds like Skid Row. The songs sound like Skid Row. The singing sounds like I said this when I picked this up originally. The singing sounds like a perfect blend of Sebastian Bach and Johnny Solinger. If you don't believe me, pick it up. Number one.
What happened to Johnny Solinger? Did he get canned, quit, you know? He
passed away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, he's been out of the band for a while, a number of years. And they had PJ Thart from they had several guys. But yeah, Johnny passed away some months ago, maybe a year ago. But yeah, he's been out of the band for a while. But numero uno. And in the same way that a singer can revive a band, Scott is a big fan of this band. And this is my favorite release of 2022 because of what it is. Dirty Looks, Cool from the Speedway. I absolutely love Dirty Looks. So in 2022 that I know of, Jason McMaster filled in for Dirty Looks, and he recently filled in for Armored Saint. And the dude can sing anything. I'd listen to him sing the phone book. He's a badass. I still want to meet him and get him on the show someday. But this thing was kind of a reunion, obviously without Henrik, you know, but it was a reunion of the Cool from the Wire era dudes. And this thing came out top notch. The recording is just awesome. And I've played the living shit out of it. Absolutely 10 out of 10 in my book. A live album. And I thought Jason just did a bang up job. Comes with a DVD with the same songs on it. Just so freaking cool. I love Dirty Looks, and I'm glad that this came out. I hope they do an album with Jason singing. What do you think about that?
I think that they shouldn't call it Dirty Looks.
They shouldn't?
Nope.
Oh, because
maybe they should call it Dangerous Looks. How about that?
Or they could do it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just Henrik was
Toys.
Dirty Looks.
Or Dirty Toys or Dangerous Looking Saint. Or
I mean, I don't know. I
well,
mean, if they're going to.
It's the same as the Pantera thing. I mean, those dudes have the right to play the songs. And I know that it was Henrik's band. You know, I get that. But I feel like it was pretty respectful, you know. I love it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. I love it too, and there's nothing wrong with that album at all. I think it's cool that they, keeping the music alive. I don't know, new music without Henrik is just a bit odd. So,
Anal Stab Wound.
Man, Mark is bringing the goods here. I actually have the innumerable forms, the Philosophical Collapse. But are you ready for my top three? I've already mentioned them all already.
As soon as you call your band Anal Stab Wounds, it almost to me it's like, okay, I don't even care because your name is stupid.
Well, okay. So here's my top three.
Like he's dying, doesn't he? TJ.
Here's my top three. I've already mentioned this one, Mortuous. I couldn't decide whether that should be in the top three or not, but this Mortuous is an honorable mention upon Desolation. So number three for me so far is this Weird Thing from Alex Lifeson. Okay, I highly recommend it. Envy of None, and get the deluxe packaging with the DVDs and the Blu-ray and the vinyl and all that stuff. Okay, number two, TJ Haunter. That's my number two release of 2022, and my number one release with a bullet, and I mean a bullet belt, is Amorphous Lethal Dose. This thing will shred shred, and shred some more.
I'm sorry,
leave you
Chief
one-
Pineapple. That's just the way it goes, man.
What's that?
Read the comment.
Oh boy. Anyway,
that's just the way it goes. You never know.
you just never know. Why did I just come? Jeez. Okay. I can't. Whether I said what you said I did many episodes ago, or anyway, you can't go wrong with this record. Amorphia from Bombay, India. Lethal Dose. Buy it. Scott,
And
what say
Amorphia
ye?
are a death thrash band or what?
They are a straight up thrash metal band. They are in the vein of a German thrash, kind of like early Artillery, Cyclone, early Sodom Destruction, Creator. They're very reminiscent of some of the Brazilian thrash bands like Violator, Death Razor. They just rip. They're all three of their albums. I'm looking at them now. They're Japanese pressings only. That's how you can get them, but they're reasonably cost. They cost $15 plus $5 for shipping, and this thing, it's worth every penny. And yes, I'm sure the Skid Row is really pleasant.
I haven't heard that one yet either.
Amorphia will give them anal stab wounds.
All right, so this one I got 4 here because this one was sitting here and I forgot to show it. Now, this album came out at the end of 2021 on CD, and the vinyl finally came out in the beginning of 2022. So I'm including it in my 2022 stack. But this is Camelot Redux by Deliverance. This is fantastic. I mean, I love Deliverance, but I was never a big fan of the original Camelot. This is like night and day. It literally has a Queensryche vibe to it. Yep. Not because it sounds like Queensryche, but there's a vibe to it that's, I don't know how to explain it. What do you think, Rob?
Well, I'll tell you this. My favorite concept album of all time is Operation Mindcrime. My second favorite concept album of all time is Camelot Redo.
Yep.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's spectacular. And obviously it's Jimmy Brown doing, he did most of the writing, but he brings back a lot of the original Deliverance guitar players to shred on here. So you've got some great guitar solos. It's what he originally had envisioned, and the label he was on back in the day didn't allow him to put out what he wanted. So really well done. Great album, great sound, great artwork, and I was blessed to be able to do the layout for that one.
Okay, so time out, just because I have no clue about that album. I don't know nothing about it, because Deliverance to me is Weapons of Our Warfare. And that you're telling me that doesn't sound anything like.
No, it
it
came out. Their sound changed a little. Around 95, something like that. They went more in a Queensryche,
progressive heavy metal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It still has that heavy, chunky riffing that they do.
Yes.
So you'll recognize it as Deliverance, but it's not. Especially this particular album is not a thrash metal album. It is more of a straightforward heavy metal album, progressive. And don't expect Queensryche, because it doesn't sound like Queensryche. It's just I'm having a hard time explaining it. Yeah, it's got that similar vibe to like Operation Mindcrime, where it's a concept album and it just flows together really well. So
yeah, it's basically one long track, Carcass, just like Operation Mindcrime, and it flows in and out of intros and outros and stuff going on between songs and people talking, and I think you'd love it, especially on the badass stereos you've got.
Okay, well, I'd be willing to give it a chance. I just, it's kind of like if you told me, hey, this new Violence record sounds like Queensryche or King's X, I would be very suspicious.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean they dropped after they did Weapons, they did What a Joke, and then the next album after that they started moving away from the thrash metal sound, getting more into like a heavier groove, not unlike Pantera kind of groove, not, I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, they moved around quite a bit. Their last full-length studio album was a return to thrash metal, the subversive kind,
Yeah.
with Glenn Rogers being the lead guitar player in the band. And matter of fact, Glenn Rogers also plays some of the leads on this. So, but so does the guy who played on Weapons of Our Warfare, which is George Ochoa, and then the guitar player who plays from the Crucified, Greg Minier. So yeah, let me get into the rest of these. So, like I said, these are not necessarily my top 3, although one of these is definitely going to make my top 5 when I do my video on my channel. These are just what's left in my pile that I think are fantastic albums. All of them are stuff that I worked on. So, this is Fear Not,
Great album.
Fields of Sorrow. Very heavy, straightforward, hard rock. With a bit of a southern vibe, even though they're from California, although they're all over the globe now. But this band is doing really well for themselves. They just played up in California, with opening up for Stryper, and they apparently the club, which was, what's the name of the club, Rob? The Whiskey must have liked them quite a bit, because they're bringing them back. So this band, Fear Not, is going to be playing with this band this summer at the Whiskey. This is Seventh Servant, featuring John Greeley, of course, from Iced Earth, guest vocals from Ripper Owens on here on a couple tracks. Again, very progressive. This I would just describe as power metal. Do you have this one, Rob?
No,
because I know you didn't get to work on this one, but
he just sent me all the tracks, so I'm going to be checking it out after the show.
Cool. So yeah, John Greeley's Iced Earth, John Greeley's Seventh Servant, Tree of Life. Honestly, if you like Iced Earth, I can't understand how you wouldn't like this. Might be a little bit more keyboards in it than Iced Earth tends to have, but not much. The keyboards definitely aren't the lead, and it's definitely more guitar driven. And then my last one, and this is the one that's going to make my top 5, because I must have played this thing 50 times already. But this is Reign of Glory, All Will Bow.
Also good.
Very, very good. And I'm a big fan of Robin Calvasari's vocals. I loved what he did in Red Sea. I love what he did in Die Happy. What he did with Joshua. But he on here, he kind of sounds like. Do you have this one, Rob?
I think. Did I do that? I think I did that one, didn't I? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I can't remember.
I don't remember either. We've done so many projects this year.
I know.
But this is melodic heavy metal. That's all there is to it. It's not.
Yeah, it's great.
It's there's nothing. It's not thrash. It's not power metal. It's not. There's nothing modern or alternative about it. It's just great, straightforward heavy metal. It is but melodic. And the vocals kind of remind me of a mixture of Ian Gillan and David Coverdale.
Very good. So, Chief Pineapple's got we got one more comment after this than we need to get, but I don't know anything about the Demon Hunter album. I have not known anything about those guys in a long time. So, I can't speak on it. I'm sure it's good. The production was always good. I had a couple of their albums back in the day. I just don't know anything about the new ones, so I'm sorry. But Scott might say anal stab wound again.
Anal stab wounds and
why wouldn't he?
Multiplicity. Right. It's a multiplicity of anal stab wounds.
That's right. All right, we'll let TJ have the last word.
Well, dude, it's good music.
It
what can I say?
Yeah,
it's really good, man.
You're the ones that did. You should be grateful that we like it so much. We don't just like it though; we love it. It's like woven into the fabric of the walls now. At this point,
Absolutely.
Of course, it's not a big stretch for me to like something like that, because I love doom. Doom metal is one of my favorite genres, and even with the heavier growled vocals, I mean, yeah, I totally dig it. Paramecium. That's not the first one that came to my mind now. That another one that I like that's similar in sound.
Yeah. All right, boys. Any parting shots before we get out of here?
Man, thanks to everybody for watching and listening, because that's how we have more fun.
Wait, I got to show something real quick.
Thanks, Mark Field.
Are you? I know what you're gonna do. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. I want to talk about.
Go ahead. Do it.
No, we're already 10 minutes past our normal time. Save it
Oh,
for
wow,
a
we are.
rainy day.
Maybe next week.
So next week, are we doing the parking lot battle again?
We're going to do the
I believe
parking
so.
lot. You want to talk about it, Scott? So we want you to score it again. We're going to stack up albums. It was such a popular show. We had 1 billion comments, which we're very appreciative of.
Yeah, I made a list of some of the ones we talked about today, but I think we're going to be doing Slayer versus Testament. Was that the final call?
Correctamundo.
Okay, so we also some others we talked about today doing was Overkill versus Anthrax.
Yep.
Maiden versus Priest.
Yep.
Ooh.
Twisted Sister versus Wasp.
Yep.
Queensryche versus Fate's Warning. Rat versus Motley Crue. Cinderella versus Dangerous Toys. What am I missing here? I think that's it. I think those are the ones I wrote down.
So I think we'll do Testament versus Slayer for the last show of 22, which will be next week. And then I think we'll open 23. I think we got to go Maiden versus Priest to open the year.
All right.
Don't you think?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do
So
it.
get ready to prepare your scorecard, Carcass, for Slayer versus Testament next Tuesday.
Maybe we'll bring on a guest so we have
Mark?
4 people doing it.
Mark.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we have. Let's get somebody else in on the action on the Judas Priest versus Maiden one.
All right.
Maybe,
Yeah. Let's work.
maybe
on
someone
it.
like maybe Steve Harmless Rebel, since he was a guest on our show several times this year.
Yeah, he was great too.
So,
All right, let's do it. Last chance for parting shots.
Anal
Everybody
Stab
knows
Wound
that-
versus Dirty Looks.
Everybody knows that metal was going to prevail, so let's just get it out
There
of
you
the
go.
way.
Yeah.
Anal Stab Wound versus Dirty Looks. That's going to be the next battle.
That'll
We'll
be
do
the
it.
third battle, the battle royal.
It'll be great. All right, boys. I am Metal Rob for this episode, which is 159 of the Metal Roundtable. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can follow the Carcass at Carcass John Art. You can also find Scott Waters' channel on YouTube by simply searching Scott Waters. Until next time, for the Metal Roundtable, metal
will prevail.
prevail. I took my hand off the mouse, and now I'm all screwed up. Here we go.